3 times a day, coast to coast on the Salem Radio Network, all the day's biggest market and business news. House Republicans electing Congressman Kevin McCarthy as majority leader, as expected, replacing Eric Cantor, who lost his seat in a primary battle. Congressman Steve Scalise elected to replace McCarthy as majority whip. And that brings us to tonight's word of the evening: conservatism, a political philosophy based on tradition, social stability, stressing established institutions and values, and preferring gradual development to abrupt change. Something the newly elected leaders in the House majority, I think, have clearly in view: conservatism. Well, for more on today's leadership elections, the impact on Republicans ahead of the midterms, all of the developments with the Obama scandals, I am joined by the president of Citizens United, David Bossie. David, great to see you. First, the reaction, your reaction, if you will. Cheryl Atkinson and I earlier talking about this. The idea that the Internal Revenue Service would even say to the Congress of the United States that they had lost all of those emails, and to do so in drips and drabs, first Lois Lerner's, then 6 others, and then to say they knew about it 5 months ago.
There's an ongoing criminal conspiracy going on at the IRS right now today, and it needs to be stopped. And the only way to stop that is to impanel a grand jury. A United States attorney, I would urge an independent counsel, not somebody who works for the U.S. Attorney in Washington, D.C., or the Department of Justice. We know both of those people are conflicted out. Both of those people are Obama supporters, appointed by Barack Obama or Eric Holder. What must happen is an impaneling of a grand jury to dig into this, because once you impanel a grand jury, and it is interesting, the IRS commissioner is going to be before Congress tomorrow, before the Ways and Means Committee, and he needs to be asked, has he or anybody at the IRS, current or former, meaning Lois Lerner, been before the grand jury? Because if we can uncover that there is a grand jury ongoing, that's a big deal.
You know, David, I think that if they go before Dave Camp's Ways and Means Committee, and that committee is not focused and sharp and tough in its questioning, I think the American people may just say the hell with the whole process, because Congress has been, despite the best efforts of several committee chairmen.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Lou. But there are a couple of U.S. attorneys, former U.S. attorneys, on the Camp Committee, as well as Government Reform and Oversight, which has
No, I'm not suggesting they couldn't do it. I'm saying they must do it if they're to hold the public's attention and build if you will, a foundation of support and public trust to carry out the investigation.
That's really the issue for me, Lou, is the breach of public trust. This guy, John Costner, was brought in as IRS commissioner 7 months ago to restore public trust. He was a mechanic who was supposed to get things back in order and establish order at the IRS and give Congress what they wanted, which was answers. We've seen nothing. I believe his credibility is now shot, and he must go. He either needs to resign, or Barack Obama, who's not exactly the best at figuring out incompetence, should ask for his resignation.
And as we conclude here, I want to just turn very quickly, if I may, to the Republican GOP leadership now, McCarthy and Scalise. Your judgment of the two?
Oh, very capable and competent leaders. You know, Kevin McCarthy, I would have preferred to see a more conservative candidate run. However, I looked at it as John Boehner's way of setting a 7-day campaign and really not allowing anyone to put together, because the shock of Eric Cantor really rippled and didn't allow for anyone to surface. So I think it's really a 7-month campaign to November, and then you will see, I believe, a true leadership election from top to bottom.
Very quickly, we've only got 30 seconds. Why do you suppose that big business, the Republican establishment in particular, along with the Democratic establishment, are pushing so hard on amnesty rather than focusing on much bigger issues?
You know, it shocks me.
I continue to be. I'm sorry, David.
I just continue to be surprised by their tone deafness on the issue of immigration and amnesty. Eric Cantor lost because of it, and I think it's dead for this session.
All right. Thanks for being with us, David. Good to see you. David Bossie.
Thanks for having me.
Up next, conspiracy theories abound in this administration. I'll be talking with Brad Meltzer about that and much, much more.